Welcome to Business 100, Chapter 5 video quiz. Today we're going to focus on just a small aspect of Chapter 5, a part of starting your business, and that is your business plan. Now, the book only uses maybe, not even half a page to talk about this, but a business plan is something that's very important. So today I'm going to go over just some basics on how to do it. Now, why would something like this be important? Find a place for me. Yeah, there you go. Move up a little bit there. Okay, that's good. All right. Well, let's try down here. And then I'll move up. Now, when you start a business, a small business, any business, it's a very complicated task, even for experienced business people. One main reason that small businesses fail is because they lack focus. Ideas are forgotten, ignored, things are overlooked. You've got your ID on this goal. Hey, I'm going to make the best mousetrap there ever was, but who are you going to sell it to? How are you going to sell it? What are you going to charge for it? What kind of funds are you going to need to cover the growth of this business over time? Those types of things are included in your business plan. And this will help you focus your energies on accomplishing your goal, which is providing a good product or service, making a profit, making the world a better place. Now, writing down a business plan is a key element for a successful business. A business plan is almost always required when applying for financing from a bank or the SBA. Here's where, if you haven't, you're going to think things through. And you're going to provide direction for that business. Plus, this is going to be used to explain your business to other people, to investors, to banks, to the Small Business Administration. People are going to lend you money. Okay? Here's what my business is. Here's my idea, and here's how I'm going to turn it into money and profits so that I can pay you back and make a living for myself. That's what a business plan is. A business plan, this is written down, but the business plan is really the plan that's in your mind and some of the details that go along with it on how to turn your idea into money. That's what a business plan is. Okay. Now, the Small Business Administration is a part of the U.S. government that provides financing and assistance to small businesses in the U.S. Before I go on here, I want to emphasize that Small Business Administration loans are very difficult, very time consuming, and they are not preferable to bank loans generally. Okay. I was a banker. I did startup businesses, small businesses, all the way up to, $15 million, sometimes a little bit more, 25. And I never did a Small Business Administration loan. I only took an application for one because generally they're a waste of time. First off, there's a lot of paperwork involved. There's a long review process. There's oftentimes questions and more questions. Hey, can you send us this? Can you tell us about this? Whatever. And the terms of the loan generally are worse than what you would get if you just went and got a loan from the bank. You're not going to walk in there with no money and say, oh, I'll go with an SBA. They won't touch you. And you're going to wait a long time anyway. I've worked with some potential small business owners. One of the things I don't do anymore is I won't do it for free. I found out not to do it for free. I had students come up and say, oh, I want to start a business, or this guy I know, my dad, my friend, someone I know wants a small business and he needs help. And when I talk to them, one of the first questions I ask them is, how much money do you have? What do you mean, how much money do I have? How are you going to pay for this business? Oh, I'm going to get a loan. No, you're not. I worked as a banker. If you come in and want me to fund 100% of your idea, you're insane. Now, there's some small banks and some dumb bankers that might do it, but you're insane. Why would I want to take all the risks and get a fixed return, say 5 or 6% or whatever the interest is on the loan? If I'm going to do that, I might as well buy the business and start it up myself. You just told me how. A bank wants to be sort of your partner, but not the risk taker. We want you to take the risk. In fact, when I lent money to start up businesses, I wouldn't even lend you money unless you could show that with your current income, you can make the loan payments. You have to have good credit, really good credit. You got to bring money to the table. I'm not financing the whole thing. And you got to show me you can pay it. If the business goes bankrupt, you got to show me you can go out and get a good enough job that you can continue paying on the loan. Okay? So they published this overview for businesses, and we're going to follow it here. We're going to almost have a letter. It should include an introduction, they call it a cover letter, executive summary, company description, market research, product service line, market, that should be a slash there, product or service line, marketing and sales, and financial projections. Okay, it's a lot more complicated than most people think. The cover letter here, not much, just the company name, the owners, the location, and a logo if you have one. Nothing too big here. Section 1, the cover letter. It's going to go on top, make it pretty. Section 2, this is where we start getting into some important stuff. The executive summary. Okay. An executive summary is an introduction to your business. This section should be clear, concise, and to the point. Don't give me 5 pages. I won't read it. Executive summary means 1, maybe 2 pages at most if it's a very complicated business. We recommend that you revisit this section to review your work after completing the other sections of the business plan to assure consistency and maintain accuracy. So what I don't want is my executive summary to say one thing and then the rest of the business plan to say something else or not mention it. Okay? So, or have a mistake in it. So you want it to be clear and concise. After you've written the whole thing, you want to go back and review it and make sure you've covered the things you talk about in your summary and that everything is consistent. Okay, we don't say, well, we're going to sell widgets to senior citizens, and then in the business plan say, well, we're going to develop a market for selling these to 30 to 40-year-olds. Okay, there's inconsistency there. So what do you want in this executive summary? You want your company, you want products or services that you sell, your audience and ideal customer. I need to know how you're going to take this idea or this product or this service and turn it into money so that you can pay back a bank or an SBA loan, you're paying the bank back. Or if I'm an investor, so that I know how you're going to make profits. I want you to be able to convince me I'm going to make profits. A lot of business owners are like, oh, this is a great idea. You can't not make money. Yeah, they have a lot of great ideas don't make money. A lot of them. Okay, I had a guy come in once. Man, he had a great product. Great product. It was I don't tell you too much, but it was a rack for holding sporting good equipment. He had it was a beautiful rack. And it was small, it would fit in a nice area. You could hang it up in your room. It looked nice. You could hang it up in your kid's room. You could hang all of his athletic supplies on there for baseball, basketball, football, whatever. And he had this great idea. I'm going to get this done to it. It'll be this colors. It'll be all these wonderful things. I looked at it. I said, that's nice. I might want one of those. But then I said, how are you going to turn it into money? He said, well, I'm going to make it in America. I said, well, couldn't you make it cheaper overseas in Mexico or China? You could probably find something in China that make the thing for $5. How much they're going to charge you here? He's like, oh, $16. It's like, how much you can sell it for? Well, Walmart thinks it can sell for somewhere between $30 and $40. And I'm like, what if you don't? Why would you want to pay more for it just to have it made in America when you could get the thing probably made cheaper overseas? Nope. I want Alabamians to get these jobs. I'm like, guess what? Alabamians don't care about you, your business, or anybody else. Okay? Those employers, they're only going to work for you. Those employees are only going to work for you if you are the best employer they've got offering them a job. The city and the state, man, they're not going to care about you when they're collecting taxes from you. And they're going to say, oh, hey, things are good last year. We got a lot of money from you. Oh, is this year slow? No, we'll cut you a break. No, they won't. They're going to tax you. Okay? Um, so anyway, the products or services you sell, your audience and ideal customer, the future of your business and your industry. One of the things we're looking for here is competition. I had a client once. He opened a Cold Stone Creamery. It was one of the first Cold Stone Creameries opened in Las Vegas, and the guy was making money hand over fist. He was rolling in it, and he was not a very good businessman. He didn't look to the future. He's bringing in all this money, but what he failed to realize is he's selling ice cream. Other people can sell ice cream, and if you're making a lot of money selling ice cream, in this case Cold Stone ice cream, a lot of other people are going to want to sell Cold Stone. Well, what is the plan? I mean, how are you going to deal with competition later on? And he never did. And eventually he lost his business. Plus, how are you going to deal with competition from other Cold Stone creameries? He was making a lot of money. Other people said, I want one. And they put them in Las Vegas. And the way that the terms were written, you only had a certain distance from his store that they couldn't build another one. Well, they started building them all over the place, and his business went down at the same time. He's getting competition from new entrants into the industry. There was one called Marble Slab or something. Then there was just, mom and pop. I mean, I could open up a ice cream store. It's not that hard. So, what are you going to do to keep profits up and keep sales up when you have competition in that industry later on? Those are the types of things you have to address and think about, not just for the investors or for the bankers, but for yourself. No one wants to set up a business to fail. This guy made a lot of money in a short time, but then went completely under because he didn't have a plan or a vision on what was going to happen in that business or industry in the future. Who are your target customers? What goals do you have for your company? We want to hit this metric and this metric and this metric by these certain periods of time. You've got to explain that to other people and have those goals set for yourself. Section 3 is a company description. Okay, here, key employees of your business, such as the CEO, president, vice president. Who's going to be running this company? Is it you? Are you going to hire managers? Do you have one? Okay, a mission statement, big time importance here. A mission statement helps focus your business. I'm telling you, a lot of businesses lose focus. They say, oh, we're really good at selling ice cream. I know what we'll do. Instead of doing what we're good at, we'll start selling other stuff. We'll start selling lunches. Well, your lunch tastes just like everybody else's lunch. Is ice cream strong enough to pull them in to eat there? I don't know. Okay, but you stay focused. A mission statement, this is the things that we're going to strive to do in our business. Everyone in the business will know that mission statement. Details about the products or services your business will provide. Qualities that will make your business a success. If you're selling ice cream, why is your ice cream better than someone else's? You're going to give them better service. Are you using better ingredients? If so, is it going to cost more? Are you going to sell it cheaper than other people? Are you selling different types of ice cream that no one else can get? Okay, so clearly you want to put what your mission statement is. Who are the principal members of your company? What are the roles? What is the legal structure of your company? Okay, are we going to be LLC? Are we going to be a corporation? Are we going to be sole prop partnership? If so, who's the partners? Section 4, market research. Okay, before we get into this too much, I'm going to talk about a customer I had. Well, actually, I didn't have it. My boss did. I went over to the banks. He had this veterinarian. And normally you'd say veterinarian, that's not too exciting. But I'm talking to my boss one day. He says, "Yeah, I got this new vet, man. This guy's sharp. He's sharp." I said, "What? You know, most veterinarians know how to fix animals, but do they know how to run a business?" He said, "Yeah, this guy's sharp." He said, "This guy came in, got a map of Auburn in this case, Auburn. Then he went over to the phone book or the Chamber of Commerce and found out where all of the veterinarians are in town. And he got some information from some trades information on veterinarians. Found out that most patients for the vets come within a certain area, 2.5 miles from the vet. So he took all the veterinarian places in town, drew circles 2.5 miles around it or whatever, and looked to see where it wasn't covered. Then he went to the Chamber of Commerce, got information on those areas. What's the per capita income? Because broke people don't take their dogs and animals and cats to the vet. And he found out where the highest per capita income was, where it wasn't covered by another veterinarian within 2.5 miles. And that was where he picked to build his office. And he said, "This guy's sharp, man. He's going to make it." And as far as I know, he did. Every time I go back there, I see that same vet there. Okay, he seems to be doing real well. So here, your marketing research, you want to describe your industry, describe your customers. Like here, we're in the veterinary industry, and we found out that people who go to see the vet typically come within a 2.5 mile radius of your office. We provide services to small animals, pets, whatever. Describe your customers. Well, our customers tend to be more affluent because those types of people can afford to go and get their dogs checkups every year and get the shots and get them dewormed and Heartgard and all this other stuff. Okay. What are your competitors? He described them. He said, "Hey, these are my competitors. Here's a map, shows you where they are, 2.5 miles from their vets. I'm not competing with any of them directly in this sense because I'm going to go to an area where it isn't covered by these veterinarians." Okay, my advantage is going to be I'm closer to you. Maybe a guy lives 6 miles from the nearest vet. I put my vet office there within 2.5 miles. He's going to come see me and stop going and seeing the other vet if he sees a vet at all. What regulations apply to your company? These are things that you need to put down when you do your market research. The SBA, Chambers of Commerce are very good sources for this information. You can actually call the SBA and they will give you help. Okay, product or service line. Describe in detail. I'm just moving myself around here. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. Describe in detail what your product or service is. Okay. How it will meet the needs of your consumers. Okay. Explain the benefits of your product or service, the advantages it has over the competition, and its current development stage, etc. Idea, prototype. One of the guys I had with the sports thing, he brought me a prototype. He showed me the thing. He said, "Yeah, I paid X number of dollars. I got this thing made." He said, "That's great. How are you going to pay for it?" Okay, that's going to be one of our big questions is how do you pay for it? How do you take this idea, this prototype, and turn it into 10,000 items in a store somewhere? No one's going to do that for you for free or on credit. You got to pay for it. But anyway, so what we're looking for here is we want to provide detailed information to show that you have a solid understanding of the industry within which your business will operate. If you have any further questions, it may be useful talking to a mentor who could offer you specific guidance. So if you're a veterinarian, maybe you go to a veterinarian in another town that you're not going to be competing with and say, "Hey, what makes your business successful? How did you figure out where to put your business?" Okay. What types of customers are you looking for? Okay. So you're going to put what product or service your company will provide. You describe your pricing structure. Okay. in which life cycle stage is your product or service. I'm an idea, I'm a prototype. I've got inventory, I need to go out and sell it, those types of things. A lot of this, if you'll watch Shark Tank, you'll see them sort of ask these questions. Here's a big one right here. What intellectual property rights do you have for your product or service? Okay, if you watch Shark Tank, especially Mr. Wonderful, but they'll all ask him, okay, this is a great idea. Do you have a patent? Okay, do you have a patent? A patent is literally a monopoly to use that idea for a certain period of time and no one can copy it. One of the things I had a problem with one of these guys that came to me, he had that great idea for the shelf. He was like the worst possible entrepreneur. He said, yeah, I got the ideas. And I said, okay, do you have a patent? He said, well, yeah. I said, oh, this thing's patented? And I looked on it, and I said, where's the patent? Well, it's pending. I said, okay, that's okay. It's pending. What's the patent on? What is the patent on? He said, well, I couldn't get the whole thing patented. I said, well, what are you getting a patent on? He said, well, the patent attorney told me I could get a patent on the shapes of the holes. Long pause. Get out. Go away. Okay? What could keep someone else from copying what he had? Nothing. Now, he did have some other ideas to deal with that. He said, well, I want to get sports teams on it. I got to deal with NASCAR or somebody, I don't remember, where we'll put, the baseball team or a NASCAR driver on there or whatever. That was a good idea to deal with not having intellectual property rights for the device. So you don't necessarily have to have a patent, but if you don't, you better come up with a plan on what you're going to do to keep someone from just copying your device and then selling it cheaper than you. Then it becomes a commodity. And once it's a commodity, whoever can produce it at the lowest cost and sell it at the lowest price is going to win out, and the rest of you are going to lose if you can't keep up. Okay, I'm going to be the low price leader. I've got a big factory making these things, and I've got a process to make this thing cheaper than anyone else can make it. That's something I could deal with if you don't have intellectual property rights on the product. Okay, what research and development activities are you performing or planning? Okay, one thing I might want to know is if it's a device, how much weight will it hold? Is it rated? I mean, if I put a bowling ball up there, will it break? No, I've got research done by a testing lab. They tested it to 80 pounds. If you put 4 bowling balls on this thing, they usually weigh 16 pounds a piece. You're good. Okay, there's 4 holes, 4 bowling balls. That's all you can put on it. All right, that's a good deal. Development. Okay, marketing research. You might do it on your own. You might want to pay someone to do it. For example, let's say you're talking about a Cold Stone Creamery, your brand new first type of thing in town. You then might want to go to other Cold Stones and say, okay, how much ice cream do you sell per person or per unit of area from your business? And they may say, well, we sell a gallon of ice cream a year to everybody that lives within a mile of the place, half a gallon, 2 miles to 5 miles. And then after 5 miles, we sell very, very little ice cream to people who live more than 5 miles away. So you might want to use that. Go look at a map, maybe the Chamber of Commerce, finally people live 1 mile from the place, 2 to 5 miles, and then come up with an idea on how much ice cream you think you're going to sell. Okay. Marketing and sales. Okay. How your company plans to grow. Are you going to use retained earnings? Are we going to say, well, we're going to take profits that we made in the business and recycle them back into the business? Are we going to get more investors? Are we going to borrow money later on? How are we going to grow this business? How is your company going to communicate with customers? Okay. What we're looking to do here is describe how your company will focus on its customers through its marketing and sales strategies. Then show how your company will reach its customers and how it will sell its products. Okay. How you will advertise your product or service. There's place to get that information. Certain types of products and services are better advertised in newspapers or on the radio or on television. You'll need to come up with a plan on how you're going to get people to know that you've got a great product or service. Okay. Those things and how you communicate that is just as important as the product itself. Okay. I was a banker and we were told, sell the benefits, not the details, not the technical information. I could sit there and tell you why our, say, credit card services were better than anyone else's. I could sit there and say, well, we've got a special deal with these credit card companies. We can get the money faster. You have to wait less time, blah, blah, blah. But mainly they were concerned with, I can help your cash flow. Okay. I can help your business cash flow. So you've got to know how you're going to communicate with your customers and how you're going to advertise this product. Okay, and how you're going to sell it to them. Finally, financial projections. Okay, you're going to want 4 financial projections. Profit and loss shows your ability to generate a net profit or your bottom line. This is known as an income statement. Cash flow projection displays the operating, investing, and financing activities of your company by detailing the money coming into and going out of your business. A projected balance sheet estimates resources your business will need, where they will be needed, and how they will be financed. And a break-even analysis shows when your business will be able to cover all of its expenses and begin making a profit. One of the key things you want to be sure of is you show what are the assumptions of your profit and loss statement. What are the assumptions you're making behind these statements? Now from here, I'm going to go onto the internet. And we're going to go to the SBA's business plan. Go here to financial projections. They have a set of forms. You can actually just put the information in. So here, profit and loss. Okay, sales. I got that from my marketing research. Let's say I'm opening an ice cream store. People buy a gallon of ice cream. A mile from the store, there's 10,000 people. So it's 10,000 gallons, 2 to 5, they get by half a gallon. There's 40,000 there. I'm going to spell 20, so I figure I'm going to sell 30,000 gallons of ice cream. They sell for $10 a piece. So I'm going to make $300,000. The ice cream, the other things I need, the cost of the ice cream, I know that if I sell it for $10, it costs me $7. So I'm going to multiply 30,000 ice cream. I'm going to make $210,000 in cost of goods sold. There I've got my gross profit. Then I'm going to go salary. I'm going to say, well, to run one of these businesses, I've got to pay employees, and they work cheap, right? $4,000. Okay, I'm sorry, $40,000. Okay, payroll taxes, right? You can go in and calculate those. I'm just going to put it in as 2,000. I don't know what they would be on 40,000. Outside services, none. Supplies, well, we're going to need office supplies. We've got to have scoops for the ice cream. That's going to be another $2,500. Repairs and maintenance, the machines do break. It costs $1,000. They break once a year. Got to have a repairman come in. Advertising, oh, that's a lot of money. It's $10,000 to advertise. Okay. Car delivery and travel, I don't do any of that. Accounting and legal, we're going to do our own books, maybe $250. Rent on the place, that's going to be $5,000 a year. Telephone, that's going to be 500, right? Utilities, 1,000. I'm making low. Let's just call that. Make that 8,000. Okay, blah blah blah. And now I'm going to get down here to the nitty gritty total expenses. So to make that $90,000 in gross profit, I got to spend $69,250 in expenses. I got a $20,750 profit. Income taxes. I don't know what the income taxes would be on that, but I'm going to go 5,000. Okay, so my net profit after taxes is going to be $15,750. I'm going to draw $1,000 a month for as being the owner, 12,000. So after everything's paid for, I'm going to have $3,750 in retained earnings, maybe to invest back into the business. Now, this probably wouldn't be too impressive to a bank or investors because I might have interest payments here, right? Let's say those are $3,000, right? Okay. But you can go in there and get these forms and fill them out. We'll look over them. I'm not going to fill them all out. Here, cash receipts, pre-startup. Maybe I'm going to the bank for a $30,000 loan to start this business up. All right. I think we said we had $300,000 in sales. Okay. Total cash receipts, cash paid out. We had purchases of $210,000. I think I went one, two, many zeros there. Yeah. Okay, gross wages, I don't remember, but I think I made a number up like 4,000. They were cheap. Okay. Advertising, we said 10,000. I think it was, right? And I'm going to do all this. Do this over a couple of years. Okay. These would be my estimated startup cost, right? This would be the cash that I have for the first year, etc. You're going to fill out that, do cash flow statement. Okay. It's not going to let me go into the cash flow. Next one, balance sheet. We'd fill this out, the start date, the end date. Say we're starting the business on January 1st and ended at December 31st. We're going to do a balance sheet, okay, based on our projections, and then a break even. You can see your cost of goods sold, inventory. These are fixed and variable. Raw materials, right? My cost of goods sold would mostly be ice cream, so that would be variable costs. My inventory might be a fixed cost. Raw materials, fixed costs. Direct labor, those would be variable. The more ice cream I sell, the more employees I'm going to have. Indirect costs, salaries, including payroll taxes, supplies, etc. So those are the types of things you would do for a business project. You can go here to SBA.com and you can make your own business plan. This would be a very basic plan. Some businesses might require more, but if you go to SBA.gov, you can go on there, plan your business, write your business plan. You set up an account, log in, and go. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day, and good luck on the quizzes.